Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So yesterday I made a video about pronouns and having them in your bio on your social media accounts, and when I was scrolling through, saw some discourse about its pronouns, and thought I'd touch on that and how I feel about those. Started because a Twitter micro celebrity of sorts had a suicide attempt, and that user uses its pronouns as personal pronouns, and started some discourse on it because, people can't help themselves apparently, and rather than realizing someone's in a bad mental state, it's, oh, let's blow up their timeline with notifications about how we're discussing their preferred pronouns. But anyway, one of the things I saw with it that kind of hit me a little close to home was someone who said that it's dehumanizing to use its pronouns when you're referring to a person. He said that they would never refer to someone as an it, because an it means that you don't think of them as human. You think of them as subhuman or something like that. And there's a part of me that I can kind of understand where they're coming from, because I wouldn't want to be called an it. I don't even like referring to animals as its. It just feels weird to me. I don't like how it sounds when I say that. But what that reminded me of was, it was actually a couple of years ago. The first time I saw the phrase people of color. When I saw that, I didn't like it, to be honest with you. It made me feel weird. What it made me feel like was, it's essentially the same phrase as colored people, but just revamped. It's not colored people, it's people of color. And I didn't like that. I thought it made me feel weird, and I never liked to use it. Anytime I referred to people of different racial groups, it was always just blank folks. Black folks, brown folks, Asian folks, just folks. That's what it was to me. It wasn't, I didn't like the phrase people of color, but I kept seeing it used by a lot of people, and it wasn't just white people I saw using the phrase people of color. It was black folks and brown folks and Asian folks and all types of folks that said people of color, which led me to believe that maybe this isn't like an op or whatever. This isn't actual racists trying to like remake a term from the 50s into modern language. This is just a new word. This is just a new way to describe people that's socially acceptable. So even though it made me feel weird, and to be honest, still kind of makes me feel a little weird, I don't mind using that, because I know that for the people who identify that way, it's an acceptable term. And I feel the same way about its personal pronouns. That personally, you might think that it's a dehumanizing thing, but to that person who prefers that, they don't see it that way. And not using those kind of words to when you're talking about them or to them, there's no harm in it. The one thing that I will say about the, not just its personal pronouns, but neo pronouns in general, the she, all that, I have not met a single person in the real world, in my job, shopping, whatever, who uses neo pronouns or its personal pronouns. It does seem to be a largely online only thing, or at least, I mean, I live in the South in the United States, so maybe it's different in cities, but I have yet to meet someone who uses those pronouns. I met plenty of people in the real world who use the phrase people of color. Neither of them bother me anymore. Um, it shouldn't bother you either. It takes nothing out of your day to refer to somebody the way that they want you to refer to them. It really doesn't. And hey, if you know somebody in your personal life that uses neo pronouns or its pronouns, let me know. Leave me a comment. When do they start doing that? Or if you use those, when did you start using those? I still just use he/him pronouns. That's just me, but that's what I like. And if you like something else, that's fine. But again, if you know anybody or if you use those, let me know.